All right, Sky, thank you so much for coming down and being part of the Action Sports and Culture Conference.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I think this is the first interview I've done in
too.
person. We've got a nice surfboard distance between us. But, I'd love to know, to start out, tell us what it is like right now to be a 12-year-old in the year 2020.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I know it's like hard times right now, but I feel like just like pause for a second. Like I get to spend time with my family more and be at home and just like stop and think about what you want to be. I like it.
It's interesting that you say that because I think for those of us who are older, we're having the same experience, right? It's very rare to stop and not be on the road traveling all the time, not just be unpacking and packing a suitcase, and really pause and spend time with your loved ones and think about, what you want to do. So you're having a very similar experience at 12 as well.
Yeah, it's been nice because I would travel a lot. Just got to pause, be at my home, and find fun things to do with my family.
Yeah, that's nice. So you've had a pretty dramatic summer, but I want to start with the really positive side of your dramatic summer. You have been doing some pretty impressive things on a skateboard, on a surfboard. I've seen you out at the wave pool doing some incredible aerials and dropping into Elliott Sloan's Megaramp. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing on your skateboard and surfboard and what you think about your role in pushing the progression of women's action sports right now?
Yeah, I've been trying to go harder, go higher, and push boundaries for girls skateboarding, and not just for skateboarding, I mean for everything. I feel like sometimes girls are scared to do what they want to do, and because of boys, like usually if I go to a skate park, it's mostly boys out there, so it can be intimidated if you're like the only girl, but I just want to keep pushing boundaries and make the gender gap smaller, and tell girls, keep on inspiring girls and tell them that you can do anything.
What gives you that inspiration when you get to a skate park and it is all guys, all boys, and it is intimidating? How do you push past that? Where does that come from?
Well, for me, I actually like having all the boys just there, and it just makes me want to go harder. It makes me want to push harder, show boys that we got it too, I got it, and show them what's up. So I like it.
Tell us what it was like to be out at the Megaramp and to drop in for the very first time. And that's something very few men or women have ever done.
Yeah, that was the first time. It was scary. I was shaking. It was scary. It was very scary. But once I went down it, everything's scary at first, but once you do it once, I don't know, it feels good. And I don't know, it was fun after I do it once. It was my favorite thing ever. Just going high, can go really high, but it was very scary.
What did you say to yourself that first moment before you dropped in the first time to get yourself to just drop in and go for it?
It was after my accident, and I wanted to show girls that won't stop me. If you fall, that you can't let that stop you. You can't let your accident stop you, because that's part of life. You're gonna fall, and everything on social media looks perfect. You don't show you're falling, but everyone falls. It's part of life, and that's what I want to show, that even if you fall, you gotta get back up and push even harder, and that's what I want. That's what I wanted to do, and I was like, even if one little girl saw me do it and made her feel like she wants to go harder too, that's what I wanted to do, so that's why I was like, okay, I gotta do it.
And so you drop in, you make it over the gap. What is it like to hit the quarter pipe on the Megaramp? I mean, dropping it is one thing. What is that quarter pipe like?
It was the best feeling ever. It was scary, but I'm it feels like I'm flying. And it's always a good feeling when you do something scary and you do it. It's the best feeling ever.
So I was thinking the other day that, you've grown up in a world where girls have always done backflips on dirt bikes. They've always dropped into the Megaramp. They've always done aerials on surfboards, right? Like, this is your reality. How do you think about your own limits when you think about your goal setting and how you define what your limits are in this world that you have grown up in?
Well, honestly, when I was little, I was hungry to see girls. I wanted to be inspired, and I feel like girls are pushing boundaries. It's crazy. I used to be the only girl at the skate park, but now I will see a couple girls, and it's such a good feeling. And what I want to do is, I want to do what boys are doing. Like, I want to shock the gnarly guys. I want to think, what? That's crazy. Like, I can't even do that. That's what I want to do. Like, close the gender gap.
Yeah, and you are doing that. I mean, there's a lot of guys who haven't dropped into that Megaramp, right? I mean, I think of you know, women like girls like you, and you know, Maya Gabiera, you know, surfing enormous waves this year, and what all the girls on dirt bikes are doing. You're right. You're not just pushing the girls; you're pushing the guys as well. That's important to you.
Yes.
So you mentioned you had an accident this summer, so I know a lot of people watching are fans of yours and they would love to hear an update. So tell us a little bit about what happened this summer and how you're feeling. You look great, you look pretty healed, but give us an update on how you're feeling.
Yeah, so I was just skating like a regular day. I was just skating, and I was doing a front set alley-oop, so you can't really see what's behind you. You're turning this way, so you're facing like the other way.
Right.
So you can't see what's behind you. So I did it, I landed it, then I realized I was right at the gap, and then I went down. And it was crazy. I mean, I woke up at the hospital to my mom crying because Corona, they would only let my mom or my dad come in. So I couldn't see my brother the whole time, which was
that must
hard.
have been hard.
But like I said, I wanted to. It's part of life, and I'm sorry if you guys thought that it was crazy, but that's what made me stronger. That's what made me push even harder and get back. If when you fall, it makes you stronger, and that's what you gotta do.
And is everything healed? Is everything feeling good?
Yes, well, it's not quite. It's like.
What are you showing me right now?
Sorry, it's like a little.
Oh, you're a little bit on your finger?
Still not closing all the way.
Okay.
But it's definitely getting better every day. I feel
That's
like
good.
I put all my weight on it and still got to use my wrist guard just to save it for a little bit, but definitely feeling way better. Way better.
I imagine you had a lot of support and messages when you were in the hospital.
Yeah.
Did those make it to you? And what was that like to be, you know, somewhere so isolated? Like you said, your brother couldn't even come to visit you. It was during a pandemic and you're injured in the hospital. But to still be able to interact with all these fans and people who love you and were showing you support, what was that like?
It felt good. I mean, thank you for everyone that did that. I mean, it made me feel happy, and yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but that definitely helped. Like, I remember my dad, when he first came and saw me, had 2 full bags of presents. And I was like, I don't know, I felt bad, but yeah, they made me feel so much better.
That's awesome.
Letters, yeah.
So, you know, for those of us who are over 30, we all have a bit of a love-hate relationship with social media. But I know that's a big part of your life, of your generation, but your life in particular. You have a really big, engaged fan base. How do you, especially during this time, how have you kept engaged? But then also, how do you find balance to stay present in your real life, but also have this relationship and this other life on social media?
Well, honestly, I don't spend so much time on social media. Like, only when I post, if I have like a message to say, I would want to post something and write the message. But I don't spend much time on social media. I only like replying to comments, but I don't know, I was too busy being in my real life.
Right. That's good to hear.
But TikTok, I mean, for me, TikTok is like when you hear music and you're dancing in the mirror, that's what it's kind of like, and it's fun. So I do spend quite a bit of time, but it's fun though. So that's what I like.
So TikTok is your social media of choice of the moment.
Yeah, TikTok is fun.
You like dancing.
I love
And do you like to watch other people's dances and sort of engage with?
Yeah, I like watching people's dances and learning them too, and making cool edits. That's cool too. It's fun, but I try not to spend too much time.
You know, I was looking through your social media, and I saw a post that really struck me because I felt like you really summed up the experience of being on social media. And so I wanted to read this. This was just from a couple, like last week. And you wrote, "Sometimes life can throw you challenges and sometimes people can be mean. But we have to remember to be positive, forgive, and keep paddling forward with a smile." And there's a cute photo of you paddling forward with a smile. How do you handle comments on social media when people aren't kind?
Like I said, I like it when people are like mean. They like, you can't do that. I get a lot of them, but you know, I like it. I wish people could stop doing that, but it's bad. I wish they could just be kind, but that makes me want to go harder too. That makes me want to show them I got it.
You find that people
I want to prove them wrong.
Yeah, say you're a girl, you can't do that. You shouldn't be dropping into the Megaramp, and that just motivates you.
Yeah, so I wish people could stop doing it because people are hurting from it.
Do you ever message at people back and engage them in a conversation and say like, hey, that wasn't kind?
Yeah, I try, or just try to ignore it.
Ignoring is probably the better of the two. I think that's the route I would take. So I wanted to ask you about the Olympics. You know, we started off 2020. You were laser focused on the Olympics.
Yeah.
We were all planning to be in Tokyo this summer, and skateboarding was making its debut. Why did you want to be an Olympian? And why do you still want to be an Olympian? Why does that matter to you?
Well, I wanted to be an Olympian because I feel like everyone's watching me. Like, all the little girls from all around the world are watching me. So I thought if I could go out and show them how fun skateboarding is and how creative you can be with it. And the most important part was to show that even if you're little, you can still do big things. I feel like that was the best place to show everyone.
Yeah.
You can do it too.
That's a good message. How much fun is it for you? You know, you're young, but you're also, like you said, you're small. You show up at the skate park, you're only girl. How fun is it to surprise people with what you can do?
It's a fun thing. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Feels
people
good.
Underestimate you, and then you sort of look and go, okay,
yeah.
Watch this. I imagine you have a lot of fun doing that. So around March, the pandemic hits. We're all in quarantine. You're not able to skate. The contests are being canceled. And then you find out that the Olympics is postponed. How did you handle the news? How did you find out? And then how did you recalibrate your plans for the summer and your mental outlook, your goal setting, all of those things?
Well, I found out because I don't watch much TV, but because people were starting to DM me and be like, "Oh no, are you okay? I heard that the Olympics are getting postponed," and that was hard. I mean, I thought my dreams were crushed. I thought it was done, but if you compare, like my dream felt so big. It felt like really big, but if you compare that to people's lives, it's really small, and I don't know. And I thought it just gives me more time to get better, and I'm excited to see all the girls because all the other girls are pushing too. I'm excited to see what they've got, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. But
that's some pretty good perspective that you have about life in general, but also about the Olympics. You know, like you said, it felt like it was the most important thing in your world, but then when you realized what's going on in the world, it felt smaller and more manageable, right?
Yeah.
So now that we are possibly going into an Olympics next year, we still don't know. It might be next year, it might be 2024, whenever it is, whenever you do have the opportunity to compete, what are you most looking forward to when you sort of imagine yourself walking out onto an Olympic stage for the first time?
I'm excited to see all the girls. See all the girls skate the ball, and most of all, maybe get a gold. That would be cool. That would be crazy. But most of all, I'm excited to show girls that you've got it too.
So as you sort of leave here today and look at the rest of the 2020, which is zooming by, what are you most looking forward to in 2021? It's only a couple months away, but when the calendar flips into a new year, what are you most excited for?
I'm excited to... That's a good question. Maybe travel, go to unprivileged places, and teach more kids how to skate. When kids skate, they think about skateboarding, so...
Right.
They only think about happiness and getting that trick. They forget about everything else. So I feel like skateboarding is a good way to make kids in unprivileged places happy.
Spread some positivity around the
Yeah.
world. Is that something you've had the opportunity to do in the past?
I went to Cambodia and taught kids how to skate, and it was so nice. Everyone was laughing, I was smiling, and it was cool to see because I don't think they ever seen a skateboard before.
Right.
So it was cool. It was cool.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful that 12 years old, you're already thinking about other people and the rest of the world and sharing the sport that you're incredible at with other kids. I think that's really great. Sky, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
This was really, really fun.
Thank you.